This game is basically a preview of the World Championship match between the two highest rated players in the world besides Magnus Carlsen. We have Ding Liren and Jan Nepomniachtchi. Let's just go ahead and get right into the game. So Ding goes for the English, and this is a variation that I like to play, although I never really played this move here. I didn't realize this was the best move in the opening. I always go with bishop g2. I always bring the bishop over here. It seems like if you're going to push the pawn, you should get the bishop there, but knight to f3 is evidently the stronger move to play here, so something I'll keep in mind for my future games. And Nepo finds the best move. Jan finds the right move here, and the correct reply. And interesting move here. It turns out this is the best move. You might think that you want to go ahead and capture with the pawn instead, kind of solidifying the center. Trouble is, if you play that, if we play this move instead, then bishop g2, of course, is coming, and eventually you're going to play pawn to d3, and that just kind of undermines the center and makes all those pawn moves pointless. So not normally what is played, and for that reason, of course, Jan, of course, knows the best move in this line so early in and plays that. And now, Ding loses some tempo here, having to replace the knight, but of course he's going to gain tempo here in a moment, as we see now. Best move, just go ahead and attacking the queen. And now finally the bishop comes to that square where I would do that automatically. That's kind of, if I played g3, I automatically play g2. So interesting to see this, something for me to think about in my own future games. That's part of why we do this analysis, so we can maybe find some better moves. You want to, go over your games and see if you can improve on them, see if you can learn from your mistakes, see if you can learn from mistakes of your opponents would be even better. And this move here, knight to a6 seems kind of crazy. Knight on the rim, is that really the best move? In this case, that star means it is the best move in the position as Stockfish believes anyways. And so now castles, and black preparing to castle as well. Interesting, Ding Liren actually played this exact same opening against it was Hans Moke Niemann, actually. Hans Moke Niemann, and Niemann actually won the game. So interesting that he's still going for this. Perhaps d3 or even d4 would have been a better move. Actually, the top move, I think, is d4 here. Just trying to break things up in the middle, kind of get a handle on black's hold on the center that he has right now. So Nepo castles, that's the best move here, preventing the bishop from coming in, and this has all been played before until this move here, actually. So all this was played against Hans Moke Niemann just a few months ago, and Niemann actually played pawn to c5 here, and eventually went on to win the game. You can definitely check that out. It's probably a game I'll cover in the future, but I imagine that probably Ding figured out some sort of way to fix the game that he played in the past. And I think Nepo, Jan, so as of move 12 here, black has started a new game. It's saying that this is a bit of a mistake, but it's really hard to find any issues with this move. This is a strong move, and Nepo is going for it. So Jan is going for checkmate here, and yeah, pretty, it was almost rude going for mate right here so early in the game. You're 14 moves into the game and you're already trying to checkmate the second highest rated player in the world. Seems a bit crazy. Ding is actually the only person that's rated higher than Ding is Magnus Carlsen himself. And okay, you've really got to defend against this, so he goes ahead and pushes the pawn. Although maybe just taking the knight might have been better here. Continuing to develop pieces. Again, that star means it's the best move, so Ding is finding the strongest move. And over again, these players are finding the strongest move. Now, interesting here, he brings out the second defender here, but it seems like that's not enough, right? if you count them, white has 3 attackers and black only has 2 defenders. The trouble here is, as it turns out, if you think about the trades and stuff, the queen ends up being an overworked piece. She's defending the bishop. If the knight leaves, then the bishop is attacking the bishop. So you can't actually, even though it seems like white has the advantage of having 3 attackers and there's only 2 defenders, that's incorrect because, again, the queen is overworked. She's got to protect the bishop. So you can't actually capture that pawn. That bishop coming up there defending is sufficient in this case. Okay, so Jan actually kind of moved the knight expecting that and wanting to reposition the knight there. Or excuse me, I should say Ding. Ding repositioned his knight to capture the bishop. And rooks like to be on open files. And this move actually makes a lot of sense here. Just kind of preventing Ding, white, to take over that open file. And actually, this move ends up being a pretty serious mistake here because it makes it so that white has a really difficult time defending the attack. Really, instead of queen to d2, rook to d1 would have been a much better move here, although it's extremely hard to see that. The calculations are pretty deep, but it turns out this is a serious flaw in white's position, which may come back to harm him. Now, this move seems a bit crazy, and really, I think the idea was to maybe bring the rook over to h1, and when you have time, go ahead and move the king back so that the rook can be involved in defense of this attack that's probably going to happen here any moment. But actually, this puts pressure right away on the position, and yeah, Nepo goes for, or excuse me, I should say Ding goes for kind of a weak move. He's going after these pawns over here. It's moving his knight out of position. Actually, it may be that that Jan can get away with, so Nepo can get away with an attack here right now. And if that knight goes after that pawn over there, he's going to be way out of position to be involved in the defense of his own king. And so, yeah, this move here maybe should have been played before the bishop move even, before this move here. Putting direct pressure on that pawn right away. How are you going to defend against that? Really, you have to bring the king back. So it turns out that Ding Liren has wasted a move by moving the king over. This is the best response, just defending with the king. Well, why did you move your king away in the first place? So definitely some issues with the defense. And now finally that probably very deadly g5 move comes in, and yeah, why would you play that move? You're winning a pawn over there. Meanwhile, there is an incredible attack coming on the king side. That knight really needs to be back over there to help defend the king. And now the best move is just to bring that knight back, bring him back to help save your king. But it may be too little, too late. Really hard to play this from this perspective. At this point, if you're playing for white, what do you do here? There's not a lot of options as far as how you can proceed here. Probably just go ahead and take the knight here. You do have 2 attackers, or have the knight take the pawn here, and your knight's a little closer to the action. That might be best. Ding elects to go with the rook capturing, which is not terrible, but not necessarily the best response. And now checkmate being threatened right away here. We're less than 30 moves into a tournament game for the candidates tournament. This is the most important tournament that there is in chess. You're playing to be eligible for world champion, and here we are, less than 20 moves into the game. We're 16 moves into the game, and checkmate is already being threatened. So pretty crazy. This is a dynamic game for sure. Actually, this is the best move to play, but it turns out to be not enough. So Jan's attack is so powerful that it doesn't really matter that he's losing the rook here. It's just really hard to play this. And Ding still finding the strongest move. Again, the star means that that's the strongest move in the position, but it's not going to be enough. Now, yeah, Ding now loses his own rook here. And actually, yeah, so this is where Ding actually resigns. This is the best move. It does say brilliant. There's nothing to be done here. If you don't take the bishop, you're in trouble. And if you take the bishop, still you're going to be in trouble. The queen's going to come over, put you in check. Again, Ding did resign this game, but and this is basically why. There was just nothing that could be done here. The king has to go back. Oh wait, the king has to go back here. Oh yeah, and actually at this point, there's just nothing that can be done to stop this checkmate here. You can do a bunch of piece sacrifices. Technically, from this position where, so if you take the bishop, it's mate in 9. If you don't take the bishop, it's going to be, let's see, what is it? It's actually mate in 6. So I actually misspoke. It's mate in 8 if you take the bishop. It's mate in 6 if you don't take the bishop. So in this position, the great Ding Liren did resign. I say great, you know, he is the one of only 2 players in the world that's rated over 2,800. So an incredible superstar of a chess player, but he did lose this game to Jan, even though Jan was playing the black pieces. So very interesting. And as I've said, this is a preview of the World Championship match, which will be 12 games. So one game doesn't make a match. And yeah. So yeah, thank you for joining me for that. That was the end of the game. And I will definitely be covering some more games between these two. That's actually on my agenda. The next several videos that I do will be the games that these guys have played against each other last year, because yeah, this is a preview of the World Championship match. Thank you for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye.